Okay. All right, the project's running now.
Okay, once again. Okay. Okay, so you got that working. Only 1 second. I was just experimenting something. I'll just give you that code also. 1 second. Interesting problem. Okay, but it works though. So I have added some. I've made some small change in the code. I'll share my screen for a moment.
Okay.
So let me know if you are able to see my screen, sir.
Okay.
So in the child component, I have added a new property called new item event. Okay, so it is going to publish a new item, which is nothing but a new item dot value, which will be sent here. So emit value is nothing but the new item value, whatever the new value has been created. Okay. So how did the new value get created? I'm guessing that you will have a input type is equal to text, add an item, and then I have a reference local variable reference like the new item dot value, and then you call a function called the new item dot value. So basically you are trying to say like, okay, pass that data to the parent component kind of thing. So add a new item will get called and it will emit that value, whatever it receives. Okay. Clear, no? So that's simple. So add new. So in the parent component, I could as well put it here like the new item event, whatever was sent. So instead I can comment it this one here to eliminate the other pieces of code to avoid confusion. So and then enable only this piece. So if you observe here, new item event is coming from the child. The new item event is coming from the child. Okay. So new item event, and then I invoke a function called item, passing that event again, which is nothing but the data whatever was emitted, that value will be coming. Okay. So in the
Okay.
parent component.ts, that add new item, whatever I received, I'm going to store it into the array.
Okay.
Correct. And now I just do ng for loop to print the elements in the array. So practically when you run it, it will be like more like I add an event, I'm sending the value from the child to the parent.
Got you.
Okay, so I'll just share this code directly. Both are same only. I left the remaining code as it is, but added this extra value just for showcasing that there's one other alternate way of doing it. Okay, I commented this also, right? That's why it is. Okay, so I will skip this now.
Could you send the code to me?
Yeah, send it. I'm uploading.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
I was just putting it into a zip file. So just try to understand this in out using the event emitter also.
Okay.
And I'll send you the other example also. One more. Okay, you finish this, then I'll send that later.
Okay. Is it the in out enhanced?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
I added little more functionality as I added word enhanced.
Oh, oh God. Oh, yikes.
Any doubt?
I'm almost done.
Okay. So there is one more example. I'm sending it to you. That ng switch.
Okay.
It is pretty much like a switch case statement
Okay.
in a programming language if you have already worked on it. So
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a big thing, but just so play around with that ng switch also, just to kind of get a feel of.
Yeah. I'm reading the website you sent.
No problem, no problem. So yeah, we're doing okay on the schedule also.
Sorry.
We are doing okay on the schedules.
Okay. Why do these websites have so many ads?
My screen is shared, right? Anyway, so
Uh, Hold on. Yeah.
okay. So if you look at this one, right? So most of the things like event binding, two-way data binding,
That's the NG
yeah,
model.
CLI pretty much done. Components, inline and multi-line, right? That one line statement or multi-line statement are external files for HTML templates.
So like instead of like for like the styles, for example, instead of
Correct.
doing
Like template
yeah,
URL or template.html. In the template, you specify like in this particular example, you can specify that template URL or directly you put template and put it in that tilde character, tilde, right? Whatever that backspace character, and you can have multi-line or one line. So
yeah.
nothing
At
but
work,
based approach.
yeah.
It is
Um,
always good to keep it separate, just to kind of, because generally templates keep growing, so it is not a good thing to one or two line content is looking okay, but anything bigger than that, no, it will become difficult to maintain. Rather, keeping it in a separate file is a lot more easier.
okay. So yeah, so at our work they tell us about this, like to always keep it separate.
Yeah, so I don't know if some companies also recommend within same page. I don't think so, but just wondering, because generally HTML content grows over time.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is the reason it will become difficult to maintain.
Um, so So here's a question. So for the ND switch, a good practical example would be like a navigation tab.
Um, yeah. Mm,
Um,
application tab. You
mhm.
can. Are you calling it like an application tab or application menus, whatever you have?
Yeah, like if you have a nav bar,
Correct.
when you
Yeah.
you would just switch.
See, this kind of switch case. Let me put it this way. How many times I've seen it in? Hardly, I haven't even seen it even in one application where we use this.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, because maybe it is just for the language purpose they're supporting it, I guess. But practically, see, the UI cases become little more. How do I say? Complex as things go. How do I say? uh, it expands right over time, and then naturally you have routing logic to navigate between pages. So generally, like when you are in the menus and all those things, you generally use routers to manage it rather than using switch case
Oh, yeah,
techniques.
yeah, good point. You're right about that.
So, and generally you define, like example, if I have a car class, I generally tend to have like super deluxe car or maybe different variations of car. Then I will have like parent class, child class kind of thing. Remember that the Booch methodology or object-oriented methodology says define your own types or specialized types when the use case needs it.
Right,
Don't
right.
hard code like, okay, that you are going to create like, let's say, don't hard code the class, but rather let the type decide it by itself, like which action to invoke. So that's nothing but
Yeah,
a polymorphic behavior, right? So,
I guess something that'd be good to understand are like some good like common practices
correct. Yeah.
to do and avoid.
Yeah. So I will mention that. Yeah. I think a couple of URLs I had kept it for you. Let me see that. Okay, that style guide. Remember that we explored that style, like style inline styles, like within the same component, I could have a style like child component.css, or I could have a styles.css, whichever that across which is applied across the global level. So Angular guide style guide recommends the same. So
Oh,
recommend
okay.
the usage of that global style. Just be aware of it, use it, kind of thing. Happened. This guy is not even. So they talk about that hero component that TS has HTML, CSS, like single responsibility principle. What is single
Uh,
responsibility principle, by the way? So,
from what I remember is that like each component should be doing one thing. Um, like if your component is like starting to become complicated, you should just like make another component and make that reusable.
correct,
Yeah,
correct. So that's the same concept behind it. Yeah, sounds good.
I see. Because
I
like one,
have very less to teach here. Sorry.
oh yeah, I was gonna say that one thing that's like difficult at work when I'm trying to understand my code base, there's like a directory that's called common components, and that
Okay.
thing is massive. And like I have to like be careful. Like, okay, if I make a change on the common component, I might break everything in the other everywhere else. So I'm like still like figuring out my way around that.
Remember, you can extend a component.
Right, right. You can extend them.
Yeah, if you extend, you know very well you are the only one who is going to be using the extended component. And add a new one new property saying that maybe show the patent or like who created it or whatever you just want to add, like company name or something like that, just for logging purpose, something. So
I
that you
see.
could use your own component and doesn't have to change the parents.
I see. That's a good idea.
If it is too much of complicated of touch the parent, don't touch the parent. Create a
Yeah.
child. use that. That's it. Simple.